The analog knob is for situations where you really want to go the distance in simulating analog circuits. It adds small amounts of noise and hum, like what would have been present in real analog circuitry of that era. It's pretty subtle, and maybe only for specific occasions where ultra-realism, warts and all, is deemed important, for whatever reason. Finally, the REDD 17 has a very basic EQ section. There's 6 dB of high and low frequency shelving EQ, and a switch labeled bass lift that offers the choice of a 10 dB pad or a fixed 9 dB bass boost below around 100 Hz. The bass boost is fairly subtle, and it's nice for adding a little heft without too much boom. For that matter, the bass and treble shelves are also pretty subtle, maxing out at only plus or minus 6 dB, compared with around the plus or minus 12 to plus or minus 18 dB typical of modern EQs. But that, combined with the broad curves, is part of what makes these EQs musical, which is an engineer's way of saying, even maxed out, they won't make the signal sound overprocessed. It'll still sound natural, just with more fullness and clarity. Sometimes it's hard to limit ourselves when we start EQing, but this EQ forces you to be tasteful, which was very much in line with the philosophy at Abbey Road, at least prior to the Beatles. The story goes that the Beatles used to like the EQ on the REDD consoles to always be cranked, which sounds extreme until you realize how subtle and musical these controls actually are. The last control is the channel option, labeled CH, at the bottom. With a real analog console, especially a tube-based one, no two channels would sound absolutely identical, especially not to the degree we're accustomed to with digital gear. So Waves analyzed and modeled 2 different channels on a REDD 17, which you can choose between. The difference may be too subtle to catch with your ear just A/Bing them, but the real application for this comes when you're using a stereo version of the plugin, which I'll look at in the next chapter, along with the REDD 37 and 51.